Are you paying attention, everybody? This podcast was created to proliferate common sense takes regarding politics, religion, healthcare, current events, conspiracies, and whatever other topics you've been told to never mention at the dinner table. The purpose? To enlighten our fellow citizens of the propaganda being pushed in this polarizing time period in the never-ending battle for your soul. This podcast is not aligned with any sect, denomination, politics, organizations, or institution. We do wish to engage in every controversy under the sun without endorsements or oppositions to any causes. We are the four Discoursemen: TJ, Greg Hugh, Pastor Benny, and me. Artie, the one-man party. Thanks for your time, energy, and of course, attention. All right, everyone's here. Amazing.
Yes,
Thanks
yes.
for meeting.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for everyone showing up on, short notice.
It's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Of course.
So like we said, we all wanted to talk about Charlie Kirk. So that's the topic. Just want to get going. I don't know what time constraints we're under. So anybody want to start or what? This is cool because we've all actually have prepared for this. So it's not just, shall we say, freestyling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one's jumping in. You want me to start or?
Yeah, I mean,
Go
yeah,
for
start
it,
up.
Artie.
What?
Go ahead, start it.
You want me to start? Okay. What I'll say is this. This is one of those pivotal moments in history, I believe, with this assassination. Is basically, I mean, apropos his movement was called Turning Point. So I literally believe this could be one of those moments. When I first heard the news, it hit me hard. Like I didn't believe it. And then when I heard the news, they said he was dead. And I was like, what? Out of the blue, my brother-in-law goes, yeah, he's dead. And I'm like, what? And then I actually called John, Pastor Benny, and he said, no, he's in critical condition. So then I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm like, okay, good. No way. I'm thinking, all right, good. If he's in critical condition, God will save him. So then I go back to my brother. I'm like, why are you saying stuff like that? Now, again, unfortunately, fortunately, I did not see the actual video. I don't know if any of you guys have, but when I somehow yesterday, I actually then, people are, they just showed the clip and I saw it and it was like, oh my God, there's no way. When you see that, you know he's dead. I mean, have you
It's horrible.
seen
It
the
was
video?
horrible.
Horrible. Like when you,
Yeah.
I could not believe when I saw it because people were saying it's very graphic, and I'm squeamish. I'm one of those guys who cannot look at blood and stuff. That's why I'm not in medical field or anything. So when I saw it, some clickbait guy just immediately goes on. You see the faucet basically we all seen, and yeah, so. Then I got very the 4 stages of grief. I got very shocked. It just didn't register for a day or so, or whatever, hours and stuff. So, I've had time, and I'm glad that we're meeting now, a couple days after the fact, because now I've had time to collect my thoughts and stuff. So,
Yeah, process that.
yeah. So if anyone wants to take it from here, I'll go into what I don't know what the time constraints, but if I had to put Charlie Kirk into one word, I would say, and I've spoken to you, I know Greg and stuff. This is what I mean by a leader. This guy to me was like a true leader, and that's what I mean by that. I'll just go into it real quick. To me, a true leader, and I like to do everything like in people's words, or understand like movies. So this is kind of like when I mean true leader, I mean like 8 Mile or Gladiator. What I mean by that is a leader goes into a crowd and then wins the crowd. Like in 8 Mile at the end, You got, I think, Eminem, a rabbit. He goes in front of another person. He does like a freestyle rap, and then at the end they vote who wins. You say your idea, the other guy says his idea, and then the majority who wins is the leader, the chosen leader. Also, like Gladiator, like, which is even more apropos with Charlie, because he walked literally into the lion's den, in my opinion. He went to universities where mostly liberal people, 75% of professors, all that stuff, and literally wins the crowd. Now, debatable if he wins the crowd, but I'm saying, like in Gladiator, they told Russell Crowe, you win your freedom, you win the crowd. So what I mean by leader, I don't mean someone like, not to mess with the libertarian, someone who sneaks into the Republican Party, who has the majority and then gets the Republican nomination, like Kamala Harris. They pretty much put her in as the Democrat nominee to hopefully win the majority and then lead. I'm talking about like Trump, people who walk into a movement, create a movement with their own, and it wins the majority. So that, to me, Charlie Kirk, right, plain and simple, that's what I mean by very few of these kinds of people in the world. So that's, to me, was a huge loss to the MAGA movement, to the timeline of this country.
For sure, for sure. I was a big fan. I watched a lot of Charlie Kirk. I probably agreed with, I don't know, 70% of what his views, getting to know his views over the past several years. But
Right.
I always appreciated his approach. He was
Yeah.
always very kind to people. He was always very open. And that says a lot about a person's character, even if you disagree with a third of, two-thirds of what they say. It was always fun to watch him, and he always engaged in good debate. It's definitely a sad point for rational debate in this country, that's the person they killed. He's like one of the most moderate conservatives you can imagine, right? It's like, you're killing the moderates? This is crazy. I mean, it's like the point is to only have extremes at this point. And the point is so much that they're even killing the people in the middle. It's crazy. Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah, I wanted to mention though, real quick, on the topic of Charlie Kirk. You see what's happening in the UK right now? There's
3
like
million.
millions of people in the street right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter, or X, and last night they had a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and I was like, "Is it Charlie Kirk?" No, this is something about freedom. This guy Robinson is something is running it.
It's kind of all tied together, but there's a lot of Charlie Kirk signs and stuff like that people are holding.
So literally, like we were saying, this is a turning point.
I think it could be.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
I think it's just very unfortunate because there's somebody who just talks.
Yeah.
He never hurt anybody directly. And once you start hitting people off that really did not directly negatively affect anybody, maybe emotionally, but
Mhm.
he doesn't make legislation. He doesn't really have that power. He just has his voice, which I mean is a big thing, but it's very dangerous from this point because now, no one's off the table.
Right. Yeah. You know what? You know what hurt almost as much as Charlie Kirk getting killed is seeing the reaction of my fellow humans to
Yes.
Charlie Kirk getting killed. I mean, talk about the most glaring example of how religiosity has declined. This is how people treat someone who was just murdered right in front of them. It's like, God, man, I feel like we're such a lost people at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to believe unless you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see people's reactions. You wouldn't have expected it, but it's just like brutal.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
And nothing, even with those reactions, and I don't want to. I mean, again, I believe when I told you with the whole thing about, there's a positive, negative now. This is a polar opposites. When I went into the old podcast, I suggest people listen to it to get more of where we come from. If this is the first time hearing us. But I said this is not Coke, Pepsi, these parties. It is completely, almost, I've said and hinted, and I'm trying to get further, but this is a spiritual war. You can say it's political, but I would argue that the left is a religion. Their movement or what they believe, the far left is a religion to them. That's their God. And Charlie Kirk obviously was very man of faith. And I believe that if this is something that's larger than just politics here. I mean, I can go down the road a little further with what I see this as a bigger picture, but now that I brought up the spiritual, I think Pastor Benny, you have anything you want to say on that level?
Yeah, first, like, oh, it was like I am not just a pastor, but uh, I come from a different country and come to United States, and I see a Charlie creating a path for his leadership. He understood his gifting, his calling, and he did not follow any other trends. He could have gone to be working as an intern in White House and all those things as a young person, but he created a different lane to create awareness of United States to the people who are there and the new people who are coming there, going to colleges as they're changing. That was amazing. That was such a great step. He did not go to college, but he created his own way of leadership, alerting America and going into tough places. Nobody was doing that other than few other people, but he just went on it and he won great people, large amount of young people, others, and he was instrumental in Trump's winnings, and that was amazing. And now uh, this is what is unique. See, if this death would have happened in any other country, it would not be a big deal. It's like, yeah, obviously, of course, yeah. What else can you expect? But in the United States, it makes it a little bit sad to see that because United States is all about discussion. Let's discuss. Yeah, democracy works at best when there are intelligent people, educated people. And here we have plenty of educated people. And out of all, it happened in a college campus. I was like, oh God. If because most of the world learns from United States. If United States starts running like this kind of thing starts happening, you watch it will have a effect on the rest of the world. They will start doing the same things, and before you know it, it will be crazy. So it is tough. Logically, the more discussions happen, one side will have to. If they start thinking, they'll have to. They have to give in. One has to win. So one will win because of logically but it's a spiritual side. So I think uh, those who are in the spiritual side, they have to rely more on uh, praying because it is not a physical battle. Because if you try to solve everything by logic and debates and all those things, you can go only so far. If you have to go a little further than that, it has to impact the heart of a person to agree because in debates people lose but nobody changes. That's what is important, and that's where prayer becomes instrumental in changing the hearts of people. Sometimes people take it the wrong way when they lose. They're like, I'm angry, and that was one of the things. It was sad, but it sounded like the alarm went off in the United States.
No question. And let me
Yeah.
step in here real quick. The most amazing thing that I did see, and I'm glad we met today and not earlier, was did you guys see Erica Kirk's speech? Now, if that's
Oh,
not, to me,
oh,
that's
yeah.
a sign of some type of Holy Spirit or spiritual strength. I don't know did you guys see that?
I didn't get
Yes.
a chance.
A little bit, yes, yes.
Actually
What did
picked the worst weekend to do a social media detox.
That's a great idea. That's a
you
great
didn't
idea.
you didn't see the Erica
Or the
Kirk?
best weekend to do it. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
You didn't see
100%.
Kirk's speech?
No, yeah, I only heard from my brother-in-law called me about Charlie Kirk, and that was it.
Oh, so you don't know what's going on really that much. So, hey, I hear you. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you see it, Craig? what she had to say?
Yeah, I did. It was really hard to watch.
Yeah, but were you moved by it or?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
mean,
asking.
this is a woman who just lost her husband and now she's got 2 kids. She needs to
I
raise
had,
one.
I had
It's
never met
brutal.
Kirk. I didn't know anything about her until I saw her speak. I know,
No, me
obviously.
neither.
So, what was your impression?
I mean, my impression was she's destroyed, like I would expect her to be right now.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you my 2 cents on it. So what? Back to the movie analogies. What I think we have here is Terminator. So let me build this up for real quickly.
That wasn't on my bingo card.
I'll build it up. That's what Charlie used to say whenever he was doing. I watched a lot of his debates over the last couple of days. I have been all in on social media, so I'm on the opposite end of yours, TJ. But anyway, so he always said, "Let me build this out." So, in respect to him, I would equate Reese to say Trump. All right, Reese is Trump. He is the initiator of the resistance. My opinion. Then you have, if John Connor will be Charlie Kirk. He is like literally, like they even say he's like the brother, almost like a son. So like if you were trying to kill the MAGA movement, once it got started, right? It starts with Reese, so we say, because he goes back in time, whatever. And even people say the analogy that Trump is time travel. Anyway, then you have Charlie Kirk. I mean, he's only 31. This guy literally could be president of the United States down the road. And he's not even of age to be president. So if you were going to kill the MAGA movement, that's the guy you really, I mean, because he's got 31 years. I mean, and what you said, Pastor Benny, about he went into the colleges, the reason he was able to relate so well, because he's their age almost. He started doing this when he was 18. He wasn't like a 40, 50-year-old guy going in preaching to them. He was like your own age. He kind of, he's got millions of 750,000 people, students in his movement, So that's a big number. And he made it seem like it was kind of cool, all right, to be a rebel, like almost to be a conservative. So anyway, so that's like John Connor. So if you were going to end the MAGA movement or stop it in its tracks down the road, if you could go back, that's the guy right there. It's not these other guys who are all like, he's got 30 years, from 18 years old, he's been conservative. He knows all the arguments. Again, I'm not saying he'd be a better president right now than Trump, because Trump can do the art of the deal and stuff, but he's learning. He's like, he's like, if I had to say even a better example, well, first let me go, but let me just say this. So you kill John Connor instead of killing Reese. So now you have Sarah Connor. That's Erica Kirk, what I got from her yesterday. That DJ, when you watch this, you were going to be blown away. If there was ever a woman who's going to make her husband proud, the scorned woman. If I don't know, Greg, why you didn't mention it, that woman is not happy. You knew from the minute she spoke, even though she's crying and she's upset, she is not going to take any type of never surrender. She said, I don't want to ruin it for people. I suggest you watch it. That woman is all in now. They woke up a sleeping giant. I literally said to my friend, that right there could be the first woman president we ever have. That's only 15 minutes. I'm not kidding. She is not happy. She even said evil doer. I don't want to ruin it. I can't believe most of you didn't watch it. But I suggest you watch it. She said evil doers. She didn't just say one guy. She is all in. I could not believe the amount of strength that woman had, and she is not happy. I mean, you cannot ask for it. She says nothing is stopping. This is going like literally like the Obi-Wan Kenobi. You just made this guy, and you can hear in her voice, like I said in all the podcasts, I don't care what people write about people. I want to hear them speak and test their mettle and their conviction. I believe every word she said. She means it.
So, do you know who they're talking about taking over for Charlie Kirk, who's going to go campus to campus and have these discussions?
No, I have no idea.
Ben Shapiro.
Well,
he is not the right guy. He is not the right guy.
I don't believe that. I think that's bull, because Ben already does that. Charlie are very similar.
I'm telling you, Ben said it. Ben literally said it.
Yeah, well,
that's another segment. You want to start on that?
I agree. No, I agree. I'm with you. I agree.
He'll never be Ben
But
Shapiro.
it sounds like they're going to buy Turning Point. But we'll see what happens. But this is early.
Never happened. Never
info.
happened. Now
It might
look,
be
you go.
it,
Someone.
it might be a good business decision, but I don't think Ben Shapiro will get that kind of welcome like Charlie got.
Agreed. He's not nearly as likable. Totally agree.
Yes,
Totally different views.
yes.
Different
Mhm.
views. You know
Yeah.
that
For sure.
that
For sure.
that
A couple very, very important different views. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big glaring one.
Yeah.
that's like you said. It's another segment. These
But
are all
yeah,
about Charlie and Erica.
yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up is that like we have this slew of assassinations. It's going to make us look like almost like Latin America. And I mean, we haven't had something like this happen since the 60s when we had, obviously it was set off by JFK, and then you had Medgar Evers, Malcolm X,
Yep.
Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
That was all in the 60s. I don't think this is we already had an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, so I think there's more to come.
Maybe.
Well, and I think you're right. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't 5 or 6 right-leaning politicians just get assassinated in Germany over the past few months?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ADF.
Yeah. So there's a global leftist movement that is assassinating
Yes.
people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They just
it's
show
hard,
up
it's hard
from
to
one
say
another.
these are random
was that?
individuals at this point.
I'm sorry, teacher. I
I
overspoke.
said
What were you saying?
it's okay. I said it's hard to believe that it's random individuals at this point.
Right. That there's not a central coordinating something.
Now, did you? Because I know TJ hasn't been on social media, so I just watched the guy Miller. You know what's the guy's Miller? That guy, Trump's bulldog.
Oh, Stephen
Yes.
Miller.
Stephen
Yeah.
Miller. He just spoke, and you know what the last thing Charlie Kirk told him was?
Hmm.
Do you know?
I thought he was concerned about some of the pushback he was given about Israel.
No. What the last thing Miller just said it was that he said we need to go after Charlie Kirk said we need to stop the NGOs that are fomenting violence
Yeah.
in the United
Oh, okay,
States.
gotcha.
That's what he
So
said. He said,
basically, follow the money.
yeah, exactly. And now, because of this, that's exactly what we're going to do. So the last thing, that guy Miller, when he's dogged. When he's got you in his sights, he will not let up. So if Charlie Kirk's last thing
This
was
was
to be,
it. This was the straw. Now
yeah,
we're
and
really
he,
going to look into this corruption. You know what? The last 200 years of bullshit that we've been pulling, this is now we're really going to get to the bottom of it. I mean, it's all theater. Come on.
Yeah,
There's nothing that's going to change.
well, he said
that's what I've
noble.
been telling already for a while. I'm like, who do they arrest? Who's arrested?
Yeah, there's already a lot of questions around what's going on here. I mean, there's some pretty glaring inconsistencies with the story, with the video. Where'd the rifle go? Did he broke the rifle down? Apparently, this guy and jumped off the roof. Or the video of him jumping off the roof doesn't have a rifle, but he stashed the rifle 600 yards away. I mean, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it was a bag. If you look, there is a bag that he put down to the side. I don't know these guns like you guys do. It's a 30-06. I don't know. There's a stock.
Yeah.
Can you,
No, it's a 30-06 long. It's a 48-inch rifle. It's a long rifle.
and it doesn't break.
It's a deer hunting rifle. You can break a 30-06 bolt rifle down, but you need tools.
Oh, okay.
This isn't an AR-15 where you unscrew a couple parts and pop off the upper. No. This is a long rifle.
Okay, yeah, because it didn't look like So we'll see about that. But like we're still learning about. It's funny how Ruth, the assassination is now trial, and then Crooks. We never know anything about that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the investigation. Apparently, Cash and Bongino knew Kirk, so I think we'll see. But like you say, I agree with
definitely Bongino because he was in that industry.
Yeah. So like I said, at this point, the benefit of the doubt goes towards you guys with the the rest and stuff with the
Yeah.
big leaders and stuff. But
I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more, but I can't articulate enough how little credibility Bongino and Cash have in my eyes at this point. So it'll be a miracle if they do anything to restore credibility in either of them to me.
so if they do, then you will believe it's a miracle. You'll be like Jesus is number one now over jiu-jitsu.
I mean, just because it's a miracle doesn't necessarily mean Jesus made the miracle happen. It could have been Vishnu or some other god. I'll accept interviews and applications, and we'll figure out who has the ability to make miracles happen.
But let's look at it this way. Just humor you. Like you would agree, Charlie Kirk was a Christian who believed number one in Christ, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Sure.
He's very vocal about it. Very vocal.
So if you're in a mixed martial arts event and you win the event and your primary practice is jiu-jitsu, wouldn't you say it's jiu-jitsu then? It's not Aikido.
I mean, if I used jiu-jitsu to win a fight, I would say yes, my jiu-jitsu helped me win the fight.
Thank you. So if there is a miracle from this, it's Christ. He claims it. It's his martial art. Agreed, Mr. Joseph?
Yeah.
That's a pretty. Hold on. I'm still trying to figure this out in my head how that line got to where we are, but I'm gonna need some time. There.
Yeah,
Let's keep it on Charlie. He deserves that. But yeah, that's for
Agreed.
food for thought.
I think he has also increased like the level of leadership and involvement by a group of leaders who will be coming for his position, because you have to be all out. You can't be just show up like once in a while on a podcast and people will say, all right, you're the next one, you're the next Charlie. No way. You have to be all in, just like him. I wonder
Yeah.
who's going to take his position. Michael Knowles looks quite good.
I like
As a
Michael
Christian.
Knowles.
Yeah.
Well, if
Tim
you
Pool
watch,
is good. Yeah.
well, if you watched Erica, she kind of laid it out. She said, "Look, Charlie. One thing great about Charlie, again, not to ruin it, but I suggest you watch it. Is he knew how to pick people. He knew how to trust people. He could see things. She said this. He was like his superpower was he could see gifts in people, and he would have confidence in certain people. So whoever he has, I'm sure the guy. I mean, would you agree if you saw the shot that he definitely had body armor on, right? So he's a smart
Okay.
kid, right? This kid knew that he could be killed, so he has a plan, and you can tell that from the way she spoke that he has someone he selected.
Yeah.
I
I'm
could
sure he
tell from
does, but that doesn't mean the person has the charisma that Charlie Kirk had.
Yes.
No one does. I mean, that
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's why he's a true leader. I agree. However, sometimes, right, you have Christ, and then you have the 12 disciples, right, and they carried the message. That's kind of like what. Again, I know you're. Oh, what are you talking? You comparing it to Christ? I'm just saying the analogy here that there's probably not going to be just one person. You can't do that. You know, the one person is going to be Erica. She's going to be number one. I suggest you watch that thing. She is polished. She's again. Charlie, big thing was stay married, be faithful to your woman. Try, the family, and he picked a wonderful. Again, in 15 minutes, I see. He's like, oh, it's only 15 minutes. I don't know what you do. Look, I got that impression from this woman. She's a great woman. She's a powerful woman. She just stood in the background behind her man. But now she was not selected to do this. Now she has a mandate, and you're gonna see a lot from that woman.
Yeah.
And this is
Definitely.
what September 13th, 11:31 a.m. That's my prediction. Okay, and when we post it, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. One thing that I remember from what Jesus mentioned, he says, truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls down to the ground and dies, it remains by itself. But if it dies, it will produce much fruit. And I think that's what America is getting ready. The fruit of Charlie Kirk is now going to grow. Now I think is going to be so amazing. If all goes right, I think now the tree, because same thing happened even with Jesus when he died. 12 disciples. Now these 12 guys are like ready to die for him. They're nobodies. All of a sudden they're shaking the whole world. This happened 2,000 years ago. The the tree is still growing, ever growing. Like how did, so I hope America benefits from his death and his calling and everything. So it's going to be a win-win situation for America if all goes well. Is nothing crazy happens, but if the fruit of Charlie Kirk grows, I think it'll be a
Yeah,
great tree. Yeah.
agree. They definitely created a martyr to some extent. I think
Yes.
and there,
Well,
Yeah.
and,
that
and this last week has radicalized a lot of people between Charlie Kirk and that
Yeah.
girl on the train getting stabbed.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There is a radicalization going on right now. But a quick question for you, Artie, regarding Erica. Right, one of the things Charlie was so proud of as a Christian is that his wife gets to stay home and raise his daughters. How is this a victory for that if she is now going to be in the spotlight running a multi-state organization? Do you think Charlie would want that, or do you think he would want her to be home with the kids again every day like she was before?
It's a good question. You'd have to ask that Erica Kirk. I'm sure she'll be asked that, right? But no, there's a saying, and I know it's masculine. It says, for evil to triumph is for good men, or in this case, good women to do nothing. So, you have to agree, right? One of the things that Charlie Kirk also was big on was he didn't like the fact that no fathers in the home, right? He believed
Of
in the two,
course.
all right, he believed in two parents. So now there's only one parent. So, I mean, you think Charlie wants to marry tomorrow and then stay home? No, I mean, so this is unfortunate what happened. You know what they say, the best laid plans of mice and men. So that's what happened with this thing. And what you said was, I like the fact he's a martyr. She literally said, "My husband is wearing next to God a crown of martyrdom," or something like that, right, Mr. Joseph?
Yeah. No. Of
She literally
course.
said
100%.
that was like what she started. Like I said, I recommend you watch it. All of what you're saying is completely what she realizes. So yeah, unfortunately, if you're dead, right, and you have a two-parent household and one's dead, what else are you supposed to do? Is what I would ask you.
The suggestion is she's probably not the right one to carry the mantle of leading that organization or trying to replicate what Charlie was doing. She's got other responsibilities that are even more important than that. I'm sure there are other people that could lead this organization that don't have two young children to raise. It would be my would be actually that would be if I had to play devil's advocate as the
Right.
Christian response. I would want the mom home taking care of the kids.
Yeah. I don't think she will be extensively traveling and debating just like Charlie did, but
Yeah,
she
yeah,
will be available as a face of the brand. The movement. She will be
for
there.
sure, sure.
There will be plenty willing to help her out. They will not just leave her on her own. Hey, you figure it
No,
out. You do it all by
agree.
yourself.
Totally,
Everybody will
totally
be
agree.
there to pitch in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good questions. Yeah, I hear you. We'll see what happens. But
Typically in the
Yeah.
Bible, a widow would live a modest life, and the community would help her.
Mm.
at that, I like that.
I like.
And
Do we
Charlie
still
Kirk
we still
has a
have
very big
do we still
community.
have do we still have communities? I don't know if we still have communities.
Yeah, the community is called TPUSA.
Turning point.
Very big community. I said I go to tpusa.com is what she ended with as well. Check out
Yeah, yeah,
tpusa.com.
Definitely.
yeah. No, they've got a local chapter. I've interacted with them.
Okay,
One
that's cool.
other,
Are you upset that they're probably taking, some of the market share of the Masons?
Who?
TPUSA.
There's no way they overlap in demographics.
Okay. Well, they're coming on. They're on your bumper. You're on your bumper.
They're not in conflict with each other. I don't understand why.
Recruitment's up. You might need to take a bull to get past them, Mr. Hewlin.
One thing I want to talk about
It's
too.
doing that by itself. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk
Oh,
about is I did see after the shooting that BB made a statement like immediately, and then obviously with this new news about Ben Shapiro trying to take up the mantle or whatever, it's just very concerning that the Zionist movement immediately jumps on it and tries to take all the social currency they can. BB saying he was um, a great supporter of Israel, and he was like a lion to the cause, something along those lines.
Yep.
When in reality, he was actually turning away from supporting Israel.
yep,
Um,
absolutely.
so he's so he's pretty much stealing everyone who's maybe not so involved like we are and doesn't know everything that Charlie Kirk stands for to be like, oh wow, they probably killed him because he's a Zionist or something like that. When really, that's not the case.
I see
Because
your
there's
concern.
way more. And
I see.
then you're saying Ben Shapiro wants to pretty much take over.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let me address that real quick. I see your concerns, but like you said, you haven't really been on social media. Every world leader said something about Charlie Kirk, Obama, everybody. It's nonstop. So it's total everybody, right? If Pastor Benny and Greg, everybody
Yeah,
has chimed in on Charlie.
yes. But I think TJ's referencing with the context of some of the recent things that Charlie Kirk has said. There's indications from some of Charlie Kirk's close friends that he's expressed concern that pushing back on Israel was dangerous for him. I mean, these are documented facts that are starting to come out. So
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that it isn't, but what I am saying is a lot of people have commented about it. He also said one of the last things he said was Muslim will be the sword that ruins democracy or something ruins that. So he might be using that, as more than just Charlie Kirk himself to push that thing, because that was one of the last things he said as well. Charlie Kirk, if you look, like the day before he died, he said Muslim, anti-Muslim stuff too. So. Like
Hmm.
you said, you believe 70% of what Charlie said, right, Greg?
I would
So
say that's that's
yeah,
that's my estimate. Yeah.
and that's what a true person is, right? He's not just blind faith one way or the other. This is that, and that he was a free thinker. I
I
call him
mean,
a
I
true.
hope, I hope, I hope we're all like that, right? None of us should agree 100% of the time with someone else, right? It should be pretty rare.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So him and Israel had some issues. He had some positives about Israel. He had some issues with Muslim. He probably had
Yeah,
some positives about Islam. He had some issues with gay. When you're literally debating every excuse my language, I don't want to say that. Everything under the sun with students, there's hours, thousands of hours of tapes of they could pick apart, which they do. These people who celebrate his death, little things in the context of an argument, say, oh, he's against this, or he hates this, or he hates that. That's a guy there's a lot of tape on. So if you want to pick up,
yeah.
just think of
Right,
the
right, right.
blind people on both sides hoax with Trump.
Sure.
You can pick apart anything that guy said. You can make him look any way you want because he's been out there so much. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's not run with anything yet. Like Pastor Benny said, let's see what happens with the fruit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. Though it's painful right now, I'm just eagerly waiting to what's going to happen now.
Yeah, and I didn't feel that way until I saw Erica speak. She
Yeah,
provided me a lot of hope because to come out 2 days after
yeah,
and say what she said, I was blown away. It's almost like TJ, to give you an idea, and hopefully it's not the same outcome. It's almost like when Sarah Palin came out. Remember the first speech and says, "I'm a hockey mom," and whatever, put lips, I don't know, whatever her thing, and everyone was like, had Sarah Palin syndrome. I think it's something similar to that, but hopefully a lot more,
Hopefully, without being able to see Alaska from your
Yeah.
backyard,
Yeah, things like that.
Alaska from your backyard.
or seeing Russia from your backyard. Yeah.
One more thing, when I think Erica's message was a great testament of Charlie's faith, because uh, as a Christian, you can mourn with hope because in the afterlife you have a confidence that you will get to meet the person. You're not like wondering, "Oh, I wonder what was going to happen. I don't know what happened to Charlie." She's quite confident, so she doesn't have to mourn for eternity. It will be few years, but when they get to meet, they still can meet, and there's a hope in his future also. Like, he's in great hands. She has nothing to worry about the eternity of Charlie. She doesn't have to worry about if she is ever going to see. She doesn't have to wonder. But being a Christian, you get to see that confidence, and that's what probably makes her stronger as a person, even though she has lost probably everything that she has till now, like great husband, father of her third child. Oh, wow. This is quite remarkable. A great testimony of her, Charlie's faith. Yeah.
Yeah, and to piggyback on my the movie thing, just so we get this out. Charlie Kirk, you might look at him as just some guy who went to colleges and argued with liberals and stuff like that and made memes. He literally picked the cabinet. Like if you read JD Vance's testament to Charlie Kirk, he says Charlie was involved intimately with everything that went behind the scenes. He was one of the top guys, generals of this whole administration. He had extreme power at those levels. So it's not just like a guy who was only, debating kids and stuff like that. He literally was instrumental in picking people. He literally said the only reason JD Vance got to meet Trump was because of Charlie Kirk. The only reason when JD Vance wanted to run for senator, Charlie Kirk helped him. So there's a lot of things there. I mean, this, like I said, they woke up, a movement. I didn't realize he had this much power or influence, and I don't believe, especially because JD Vance literally carried his casket and he flew on Air Force Two, that he's just grandstanding. That just like you said, I agree. Bibby's grandstanding. He's just trying to get like some
Right. Yeah.
exposure because of it. I don't believe JD Vance was doing it. I believe he was true. And Erica Kirk literally said Usha Vance and JD was so good to her. So she said it herself. So I just want to say that. That's why I'm saying, like, literally John Connor, he wasn't just somebody who was out there, pushing Trump and stuff. That's how he got started and stuff. And that was something that it's like anything. We're multifaceted human beings. Like even TJ, they can't always make these podcasts because he's got a lot of other things going on. He was multitasking on many levels. So he wasn't just some guy, arguing with people because I was watching a lot of the debates and stuff, and some of the ones that he does. I can see why people don't like him. I can see why they cheered him or didn't like him. I don't believe in cheering his death the way they did that, but he made people look bad in some ways because he knew the arguments like back of his hand because that's all he done. Some of these kids. So I can see why some people might like he's just a bad guy, but that's what it is. Like, right? Let me ask you this, Greg. If you're in a jiu-jitsu tournament and and somebody won't tap, do you break the arm?
Sure.
See, I mean, it's not that's the arena. I'm not saying that it's that graphic or whatever. But when you're in a debate with somebody, especially some of the people he's debating, right? You have to make your point known until either they agree or disagree or whatever, right? So, I mean, some of the ones that I wouldn't suggest like, oh, look how he said this about, because he's very passionate about his arguments and stuff. So even though it looks like he's bullying maybe people or younger people, but sometimes that's what you like. And then the next time, I don't know if you've ever had your arm broken or been injured in stuff, that actually makes that person come back and learn the other,
Well, look, it's not. I always thought Charlie Kirk was very kind to people. I wouldn't say he's a bully. I would say that sometimes people are so fucking stupid, excuse my language, or their argument is so shallow or so baseless that it's almost like hard to have an honest, rational conversation with them because their foundation is so wrong. You know, you're not starting from even the same place to have rational conversation. That's what I felt like some of my conversations over the last few days have been with people. Like, it's like, I don't even know how we're able to communicate if we can't agree on the basic premises of killing an innocent person who hasn't hurt anyone is wrong. I mean, that seems like a place that we should be able to start from, that we agree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's why I was telling you before when we went down the Massey route that this is not, and you said George Washington would be turning over his grave. That's where we've come. That's the game right now. You have to break the arm. No one's tapping. There is no middle ground, and it's sad.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, that's
in debates, I think he became smarter, that he was being generous in giving people opportunity to speak their
yes.
mind, and they kept talking, and they entrapped themselves with their words, and they ran
Yes.
out of gas very fast. And he had lots of stuff to say. He became so good at his debates that ordinary person could not debate with him at all. So when he was generous, he was just letting them hang themselves, So it was just it was just opening up, like, hey, how futile their arguments are, how baseless their discussion points are. They could not say much because factually they were always wrong. They fell short of all the discussion points, and probably they had one or two bullet points. And Charlie was ready with hundreds of them. Like, he could just
Yeah. Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. You couldn't defeat that kid. So it was great. And one more thing, I think if Charlie Kirk is a true follower of Christ, I can guarantee you he has a second layer, third layer of leadership in his organization. 100%. That's how Jesus operated.
Sure.
In
Sure.
three and a
Sure.
half years, he created 12 disciples who were ready to die for him. I can assure you he must have created second level of leadership in his company. Definitely.
Oh, I have no doubt he did, and there's probably a lot of really good people, but how many of them have the natural charisma, that Charlie has? That's something you can't really teach. That's hard
Yes,
to
yes.
teach, I should say. It's hard to teach.
Well, he's got a
Yeah.
million people. He's got a talent pool, right, to
Sure.
look for.
Sure.
And like I don't know, I watched a lot of like these young TP USA guys. They've known Charlie since they've been 13, 12, right? Like if I don't know, when did you pick up jujitsu? If you had started like your kids, I don't know, did they start when they were like 10, 12, 9 years old? Those are the real jujitsu masters, right? When you start that young. So these guys have
Yeah.
followed
Yeah.
his footsteps since they've been 12. Now that's what it takes. Like, you can argue that people been indoctrinated in liberalism and stuff. He's indoctrinated people in his movement. They've been, it's not like
Yeah.
it's 1 to 2 years. There's kids like literally on TV now. You have like some guy last name Crump. He's been with Charlie since he's like 12, 13 years old, arguing the points and stuff. So I'm not that worried about it. Like, right. I understand, like, what was Hickson, Hoist, Gracie, right? And you go down jiu-jitsu, those guys. But nowadays, some of these guys are just, killers because they've been involved so young,
Sure.
learning
Sure.
those lessons. So I'm not that worried about. Now, charisma, I agree. But that like I said, being a martyr, the dying like he did, I think that will motivate people. And I don't know, could you argue that the charisma is what got him killed?
You
Possibly,
could, I
probably,
guess.
because it's more braggadocious. It gets people emotionally, I guess, aroused.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's a
you want
great
to wrap
time
this
to be
one
in
up?
America right now.
Say that
I think
again, please.
it's a great time to be in America, is to see history happening right in front of us.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the Atlas space object doesn't come down and ruin it for all of us.
Yeah. Is there a lot of the other burning desires? Anything else? I don't know what TJ's timeline is.
No, that was a great little discussion, I think.
Okay.
I agree.
So
Yeah, I think we did. I think that was good. You want to wrap it up?
sure. I just want to say this, like in concluding, like there's a great video because Charlie Kirk went to Cambridge, and there's a video of a young girl in college and stuff, and I think it's like 5 minute video or something, and she asked Charlie like, what question like would be the hardest question for you to answer or something like that. Like, if I'm just gonna go ask you like, what would give you the most trouble? Like, what would you recommend to win a debate with you? And because she's a conservative or in school with all these liberals, and she said that he said basically he's like this. It's a great question. Blah 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 blah. What I would say is this, because there's not that many conservatives in this room, but what gives them the advantage is they know all your arguments because that's the only ones they know. So what he would say was to learn both sides of every argument, to learn the conservative end. Don't just stick with what you thought. That biggest thing with him, he knows both sides. That's why he's able to debate so well. So I would recommend, in Charlie's words of wisdom, that if you're going to debate someone, don't just believe because you're taught something in any argument that that's the right way. Look at the other person and learn, if you have the time to learn the other argument. This way you can look at the holes and understand both sides. That, I think, would be the best chance, and I think he would agree, for us to get on the same page, unity. It's not, the ideas are not, like if I argue with Greg Hugh or TJ or Pastor Benny, it's not because I'm angry at them. It's just the ideas that I'm arguing with here. So I don't want anyone to take it personally, and I think that's what's happened in this world. When you don't know the other side and you believe your side is the only way, you kind of take it personally.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that we have as a society.
Absolutely.
We can't
Well, you're
differentiate.
you're encouraged to not even expose yourself to the other side.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah, that's a problem too.
platform them. You can't even platform them. Right?
Correct.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think we
Yeah.
owe that much to Charlie to make attempts, just by subscribing to some other parties, like, whoever uh, the right wing or left wing, subscribe to both of them so your feed will not be exclusively just coming from one end, but it will be from both ends. You get to hear both of them. Otherwise, if you just subscribe to one, then your feed and your Facebook and everything will be full of those stuff. But if you just subscribe, let them talk, and you hear and understand. So I think that would be great.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's
Pastor Benny,
definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
so you want to take us out, Benny? Or I'm sorry, T, you got something to add?
One thing, I guess, required reading for Artie then would be to read Das Kapital just to see the other side.
Okay. I'll start when we get.
Sounds good. Yeah.
You want to take us out in prayer, Pastor Benny?
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your Son Jesus Christ and this American, beautiful country. Lord, I thank you for the leadership that's there, and Lord, the people that are here, oh God. Thank you for the life and testimony of Charlie. We pray for his family, for his wife and 2 kids, and the one that's on the way. Lord, let them have the best of protection and comfort from uh, every other American citizen, oh God. Oh Lord, I thank you. I even pray for the and he'll come close to you. Lord, I thank you for everyone who's there, God. Let fear not be part of America, where we are afraid of each other, or we are afraid to talk about things, oh God. Lord, thank you for this platform that you have given us, that we can share our thoughts and ideas. We give you praises. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you for all my friends. Amen.
Amen. And in closing, we are
Amen.
the
Amen.
Amen. And we are in closing, we are the four discoursemen. TJ, Greg Hugh, Pastor Benny, and me. Artie, the one-man party. Thanks for your time, energy, and of course, attention.